Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live. Who do we got here? Lauren in the house. Lauren, how you doing, buddy? We're also on the TikTok. Oh, can you hear me? Took a little while there. We're in. How you doing, Lauren? Welcome to the live, buddy. Well, we had some NHL action going on as far as moves are concerned. Lauren, what did you think about the Tatar deal with New Jersey? The more I look at it, I don't know, 4.5 seemed high, but when you look at his numbers, it's not. I don't know what it is about Tatar that I don't really, I'm so lukewarm about. I guess maybe it's just he's not very physical. He's kind of a perimeter guy, but he gets it done on the score sheet. He's had 20-goal seasons for the last 6 years. That's pretty good, 20-goal seasons. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's because he plays kind of he played on the top line. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about him that I never really it never really resonated with me. But I found this New Jersey signing to be a little odd, to tell you the honest truth. I think what it's for, though, is they have a few players in New Jersey that need to learn to shoot more. The big one being Brat. And I have a feeling that I think that's really what it's for. That's the main crux of this deal. There, hey, Whitechell, how you doing? Yeah, I think Eric Stahl's gonna wait it out. He's probably wondering if he's gonna retire right now. Go Cubs! Steele won. Steele won what? What did Steele win? He's winning right now because he's on holidays, Steele. But what did Steele win? I think Stahl's going to wait. He's got a lot to figure out. He's got an older family that I think stays in Minnesota. So I think he's got to decide whether he wants to travel around and still win a cup, or if he wants to help his wife with the family and all that kind of stuff like that. So kind of a tough. Oh, Steelers. The Steelers won. Did they? That shows you how much I pay attention to football. I didn't even know there was a football game. The Edmonton Oilers just signed someone. What? We were talking about Tatar, and I thought that was a weird trade. I was going to look up where. Are you serious? I took out all my cap friendlies? Just wait. Now I got to go. Before I do that, I got to find out who they signed. Who did they sign? We got to talk about the Adam Pelech deal. Oh, they did sure sign someone. Freaking Darnell Nurse. Holy crap. 9.25. Wow. That's a heavy signing. Wow. I don't know what to say about that because he's not the greatest defensively. No, he's just going to get league minimum if he decides to stick around. He won't be doing it for the money. He's made enough money now, I think. If he decides to, he just wants to go for the cup again. Because he won one cup, right? With Carolina, so. I have no idea if Michael Viccioni is good. Oh, I don't know about that. Dashed against the walls because of cap, you mean? You're going to have to pay a defenseman that much money. It's highly unlikely that you're going to. Yeah, that's right. They did win it against the Oilers, yeah. Seattle Kraken signed Johansson. Yeah. $1.5 million, that's a good deal. Nothing wrong with that. He's a utility guy. He can play all over the place. I was surprised he got only 1.5 million, to tell you the honest truth. But he gets, I think he got 2 years, didn't he? And he's been a guy that's been bouncing around quite a bit. I think he saw an opportunity in Seattle to possibly be there a while, which would be good for him. But in actuality, he might not end up being that way. If he's in a bad position as a player, because if he plays at his absolute best, he's like a 40-point-ish guy that can do a few things, you know what I mean? Like a good utility guy. So if he plays his best, he's got value at the trade deadline. And, you know, teams like Seattle won't need him, and he ends up getting traded. So, but 1.5 million for him is not a bad deal at all. I'm still at okay, that's what I was going to do. I was going to check out Tatar. Now, they've got a few guys there that won't shoot. And Tatar's not like the most adept shooter in the world, but he, like I said, he did get over 20 goals the last couple of years. I believe he's injured quite a bit. Like, has he even had a full season too often in his career? Oh, he had 73. No, he while he was with Detroit, he played full seasons, and he had 25 goals. He had 25 goals with Montreal. He played 80 games. No, he's been, I don't know, what is it that I don't like about this guy? I don't know. He had 61 points in 68 games in 2020. He's had 2 25-goal seasons. He had one 29-goal season. It's just he never went I think that's it. He had that 29-goal season, and then he never went beyond that. And I think we just sort of forget about him. But, yeah, hey, sorry, TikTok guys. I kind of forgot you there. Whoever you're there, just comment in the comment section. Go to My NHL Pearls of Wisdom on YouTube and join us. Slovakia. He's from Slovakia. Where's Brat from? Brat's from Sweden. Is there any other Slovakians on this team? Just Marian Studnik. That might be helping him out quite a bit. Studnik is just starting out. Besides that, a lot of Swedes. But I think they're going to want to help out guys like Jesper Bratt and maybe to a lesser extent, Pavel Saka has a great shot. Maybe help them out to shoot more. But I find that I kind of think Tatar's sort of the same guy over and over again. Cap going up $1 million next year, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the cap on one side of things, but I understand it on the other side. But 1 million isn't going to change things all that much, that's for sure. No, it's going up 1 million. It's going up 1 million, Lauren, next year. You didn't hear about that? Yeah, it's going up 1 million next year. You would straight up trade Teravainen for Fiala? Yeah, that's not happening, Lauren. I don't think I don't think Minnesota's going to take Teravainen back. I'm sure you would. Fiala's got far more upside than Teravainen. So I just did a video about Fiala. Did you watch the video, you guys? I think Fiala probably will be traded. I don't think that Kaprizov is going to. I think Kaprizov's going to demand a little too much money there. Oh, Teravainen. Sorry, I'm thinking of, Teravainen? Sorry, wrong guy. That's interesting. I don't know, a point a game Teravainen. I think they're about equal. Niederreiter is what I was thinking. The problem is if they were going to do that, they would just keep Fiala. Fiala is going to be, they're not going to want cap in return. So if they want that, if they're going to make that deal, it's going to be no cap in return. So I think the best place for him would be Anaheim. I think Anaheim would be all over that. And then it's just a question of how much you can hold on to get as much as possible, because you have that, Fiala's in that spot where he's 25. He doesn't have to say that he's going to sign with any team. So if the other team thinks they're only going to get him for 2 years, or even if they don't, they can pretend like they are. I don't know, is he only going to be here for 2 years? Then, the value is pretty low. The Canucks had Fiala? I didn't know that. I thought he only played in Nashville. Really? Changing my title here. Oh, I see what you mean. If they were, yeah. Again, they're a team that's considering trading some players off because they got to sign Peterson. Peterson's probably going to get north of $10 million a year if they sign him for 8, which I would now, because his value is not going to go down. So hey, how you doing? Sorry about that, TikTok guy. I gotta pay attention to my TikTok crew here too. Guy said hello, hello, hello 3 times, and I didn't even answer him. Can't put it there. Well, I don't know how Vancouver would be able to do that. Because like I said, they got to sign Peterson. Let me look it up here. Where the heck is Vancouver? How much cap space do they have now? Oh my gosh, they're in the middle. They got 14 million cap space. That's right. I was just reading this today. I should have remembered that. They have 14 million cap space, and they have to sign Peterson, Elias Peterson now. So he's going to take up 10 million of that cap space for sure. And the only way Vancouver is going to get Fiala, again, they don't want much back for, and then they got to sign Fiala. I can't see that working. It would have a great team, but it would have a great top 6 for sure. But I don't think it would work. Pellich, that was no, he signed for 8 years. 8 years, just under 6 million Pellich signed. Hey, how you doing? We're talking hockey here, volleyball Addy. Night, thanks for coming in. Leafs want Max Domi. They can have him. What? You want that headache? Oh my gosh. But the Pelech deal is fantastic. Just under 6 for 8 years for a top pairing defenseman. I'd say that's pretty good, man. Holy crap. I couldn't believe that deal. I think Pelech got to fire his agent. Phil Kessel has asked to go out. Yeah, apparently there's another thing that's happened. Phil Kessel. That's going to be a tough trade, though. I know he's putting up some decent offense like that. Yeah, Max Domi is. He's shown that he's not. Max Domi has shown that he can't stay on a team. So I don't know. Probably the best place for him would be Arizona, but he already got booted out of there. He's running out of teams, man. I don't know what's going to happen with Max Domi. I really don't. I'll be very surprised. I'll be very surprised if anybody takes a chance on him, but like when you got a team that every team you go to, he's just not a fit here. He's just not a fit here. He's just not a fit here. In Montreal, he wasn't a fit because he wanted to play center, and they didn't want him, and he wouldn't play wing. Then he goes to Columbus. They play him at center. Hey, how you doing, attaboy? Welcome into the live. We're talking hockey here. Tell me what you think down there. What it's meant. Comment anything that we're talking about. Then he goes to Columbus. They play him at center, and I don't know if he was happy there or not. But from what I understand, he is just an absolute. I mean, he just has to piss everybody off. Where is he a fit? Is he a fit anywhere? The KHL, I guess. I don't know what his problem or his attitude or personality or what it is, but that boy rubbed people the wrong way, for sure. He probably, I mean, they got rid of, if it was the fact that he was a problem with Tortorella, you think they would at least hold on to him to see how he does with the new coach. But they're not even doing that. So it wasn't just a problem with the coach. This is a problem with players in general. Yeah, he's a good playmaker. I mean, he put some points up. I think if his attitude or whatever his personality is, he'd be fine. He'd still play. He puts up enough points and plays well enough to play in the NHL. That's not his problem. He just rubs people the wrong way for whatever reason. But the Pelech deal was absolutely fantastic. Like Fiala being traded out of Minnesota, I think is inevitable. It's just a case of finding a home and getting a decent return on it. I thought with Domi it would be like Terry, Larson, because I wouldn't want Lindholm because he makes too much money already, and a second round pick or something like that, which doesn't necessarily equate to the talent of Fiala, but I'm pretty sure Fiala's not going to say, oh yeah, I'll sign with Anaheim, because he doesn't want the team he's going to get weaker because he's going there. So, if he'll just say, I don't know who I'm going to sign with. It's a tough battle. Like in free agency, you got to figure out if the guy's willing to sign there. And then I bet you certain teams that he thinks that the general manager will ask for more. And then other teams, they'll ask for less. And if that team doesn't go up, because you got to identify which team is he going to sign with. and so they can get more out of him. Like he's likely going to sign with. I'd say Anaheim is a team that Fiala would definitely consider signing with. They have tons of cap space. He's young. He's 25. It's an up and coming team. It'll give him a chance to play top minutes. And, they have I think that, and it's it's Anaheim, it's warm and all that kind of stuff like that. So if I'm in discussions in Anaheim, or if, Guerin's in discussions with Anaheim, I bet you his ask from Anaheim is higher than a lot of other teams. Or I would be anyways. Yeah, I think it would be Terry Larson in a second. That's what I put in my video. Terry Larson in a second. Which isn't bad return. I don't know. I'm not a huge. Terry's not going to be like a big point producer, but he'd fill a role. He doesn't make much money right now. He's only making 1.5 million. And Larson probably plays in your bottom 5-6, which they already have. They just, they got Kulikov and Merrill, and he could probably beat out Merrill. He's young. He's upside. You never know. He could end up being a top 4. And then, second round pick in a deep draft. I'd say that's pretty fair value for a guy who, may or may not sign after 2 years. But I think if that team's going to take, you don't know what's going on. Like, they're probably finding ways to talk to him without Minnesota knowing that they're doing so. But if I'm Guerin, I'm looking at a team like Anaheim, they're probably not going to make that trade unless they know somehow that they're going to be able to sign him. Because getting a guy for just 2 years doesn't make sense for them. They're a rebuilding team. And I suppose they could look at it as, we'll sign him, and if we can't re-sign him, then we'll trade him at the deadline on a second year and be able to recoup the picks back. But the problem is that pushes their prospects and picks back further. I think they almost certainly have to know they're going to re-sign him in order to make a trade with them. So I'd be asking more for them, for sure. Cam Fowler makes $6 million. Yeah, I think he's got a full no movement clause, and he keeps on blocking them from trading too. Yeah, but when did he sign? He signed that quite a ways back, right? When did he sign that deal, Hedman? It was a few years ago, so I mean, at the time, it was probably a fair contract. Let's see here. It'll tell you. Yeah, he signed that in 2017. 4 to 5 years ago. I imagine those contracts for Hamilton and them, pretty good chance halfway through it's not going to look like that much either, as long as they keep on progressing the way they are. Well, Jones has got to turn his career around completely. That's the one thing I was a little bit concerned about there. He's got to turn his career around completely. But if he does, he's got the tools for that to be worth. Whose bridge deal was that? 5 years. Yeah, I don't think Justin Abdelkader will play another game in the league. I think he's done. Oh, yeah, he had a bridge deal. Yeah. Yeah, he had a bridge deal, and then he signed for, like, whatever, $8 million for 8 years. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Like, if you got, I mean, sometimes teams don't do it because they want to, like, do a bridge deal, and so they save themselves cap space. I guess it depends on where your team is at the moment. If you're looking to win now, you do those bridge deals. But if you're a team like what the Oilers just did for $9.25 million, assuming Nurse keeps on getting better defensively and he keeps up kind of the offense he is right now, then that deal is going to look like nothing 4 years from now. No, Hamilton's not better than Hedman, no, but it doesn't matter. Hamilton would not have signed that deal 5 years ago. If Hamilton was doing that deal 4 years ago, he probably only would have got about 6, something like that. But he's not doing it 4 years ago. He's doing it now. It's different. It's a different. It's years later. So you can't say, oh, you can't say, okay, you take one guy. I mean, McDavid is the best player in the league, but 4 years from now, somebody is going. 3-4 years from now, somebody's going to make more than McDavid for sure. I mean, Panarin makes 11.5. Tavares makes 11.5. Marner makes 11.5, and it won't be long before somebody will make more than McDavid. But it's just when he signed his deal. Yeah, that was a big deal. That was a big contract at the time. That was like, and now I mean, I guess you could say he's worth it, but with his injuries and stuff, maybe not. But you can't do anything about that. But talent-wise, he's certainly worth it. But yeah, these $9 million deals. I don't know. I think Hamilton. It just depends what he does in the room. It really depends on what happens in the room and if he gets along with people. That's been his biggest problem, getting along with people in the room. If he does, then fine. Hey, Hockey News Reports, how you doing, buddy? We got lots to talk about now. What do you think? What do you think about that Oilers contract? 9.25 for 8 years for Darnell Nurse. $72 million. Well, Arizona won't make the playoffs next year. Well, if he keeps on putting the points up that he has, that contract will look fine 4 or 5 years from now. Because 4 or 5 years from now, just like you were just talking about, like that Hedman contract is low now, but it all depends on their performance as they keep on going. $74 million contract, yeah, for Darnell Nurse. That was inevitable after all that happened. After Jones got signed and Werenski got signed, it was pretty much inevitable that he was going to get signed. Yeah, I mean that's why you sign these guys up to 8-year deals. It's a risk, but when it pays off, it pays off huge. Pays off huge. At the time, it was probably all the money. I mean, for that time, but you wait a couple of years and yeah, I don't know how they were going to. I mean, they had no choice but to sign. If they're going to sign him to a long contract, Nurse was going to get $9 million after the Jones contract, after Werenski contract. I mean, you can't deny that he's in that wheelhouse of players. Out of them, I would, based on what they've done so far, I would take Werenski over Nurse. But Nurse has improved every single year, like in leaps and bounds. Nobody works harder than that guy to become a better player. He's an incredible player. Oh, hi, all those people on TikTok. We're talking some hockey here. You can go to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom on YouTube and come and join the frolic. Do you think it's too much money though, Weichel? What do you think he should have got? I don't. I don't know what you do there. He's going to get that money. He's just going to get that money. I mean, if you're going to keep him, you might as well give him the large 9. If you're going to keep him, you might as well do it, because 4 or 5 years from now, that contract won't look too bad as long as he maintains. And that's what you're gambling on, right? $5 million. Oh, gosh, that would have been an insult. He's their best defenseman. He's their number 1 defenseman. He wouldn't. There's no way Nurse puts pen to paper at $5 million. There's no way. Not a chance. For any term, doesn't matter what the term. How old is he now? He's got to be. He's 26. He might have did that for 1 year, and then he would have been gone. He would have been a free agent next year. This is a guy that had 16 goals and 20 assists last year in 56 games. Now, that was only one really fantastic year. Hi, everybody. Nurse, $7 million. Nurse got 9 point. TikTok Donkey Mosquito said, "Nurse, you think Nurse should only get $7 million?" You could make a case for that, because it was only his first big year where he got 16 goals and 36 points. It is a gamble for sure. He did have 41 points in 2018-19, and he's improved a lot. Connor took less. Yeah, you can't really say that Nurse took less in that deal. That's for sure. I will give you that. Nurse certainly didn't take less in that deal, for sure. The big contracts, they can handcuff a team, but they can turn out to be absolutely brilliant. Like, for instance, Hedman, McKinnon. That wasn't a super long contract, but you have to be able to. Connor took less than market value. Yeah, he could get more out there. I mean, geez, what could Connor McDavid get out there? I don't even know. I'm sure there would have been somebody out there, some team out there that would have paid $15 million a year for him, without a doubt. So, I I think if Nurse was on an open market right now, he for sure would get 9, maybe even more, if people were fighting for his services out there. So can't really say he didn't get market value. I think if he was on the open market, people would have paid 9 for 8 all day. Lots of teams would have gave him that. It's just so hard to find guys that can put up points, play big, and have skating like Nurse. Just face it, it's very hard to find a guy like that. Nurse will stay in Edmonton for a long time. Yeah. Connor Brown. Who are you talking about, Connor Brown? Sorry, I'm on YouTube as I talk to you guys at the same time here. So, what's less than market? Less than market value. Yeah. Take money or multi-Stanley Cup. So why not both? You can have both, can't you? There's lots of players out there that took money and won cups at the same time. It depends on what you're going down to. Like if Nurse wanted to, he could have gambled, said, I'll take a 7-year, 1 year, go to free agency. And you're telling me that if he goes to free agency next year, what's he going to get if he does what he did last year? If he does what he did last year, he could get maybe even more. The cap goes up $1 million. Yeah, hit that like button, hits and sub for anybody that's in here. So. He probably would have got 10 million per. Yeah, probably. Does that mean he deserves that? I mean, you deserve whatever you're going to get paid, I guess. But I think it's a decent deal. I would have liked to have seen a little bit of a par down to stay in Edmonton, but Holland pays people. Let's face it. Holland pays people. He has in Detroit. He did in Detroit. He paid the wrong people in Detroit several times. The problem with Nurse is analytically he's poor defensively. That's what I problem. I would rather have Werenski than Nurse at the moment. Well, there's no way that he's going to put pen to paper for 8 years for $7 million, Nurse. It's just not. And I know you can make a case that he probably should because he only really had that one great year, right? But the fact of the matter is he's their number one. It's hard, and that's the biggest thing. Edmonton always ends up having to pay more because it's Edmonton. It's hard to get people to go to Edmonton, and that is the truth. That is the truth. We always have Oilers always have to pay more because it's hard. Winnipeg too. Winnipeg have to be pick and choosy. Broberg is coming, but I mean, what if Broberg? How good is Broberg going to be? If Broberg ends up being as good as Nurse, you're going to have to pay him anyways. Like. Eventually you got to pay people. It's simple as that. I mean, maybe Broberg comes, he plays for a while and says, I don't like Edmonton, and he doesn't sign a long-term contract and you lose him. Now you have Nurse who wants to be in Edmonton. He obviously doesn't mind living in Edmonton. You don't know. Broberg could come here. He's from Sweden and go, you know what, I'm not big on this Edmonton thing. I want to go to blah, blah, blah. You don't know what's on the back of their mind. So when you got a guy that can play and he works as hard as Nurse does and becomes better and better and better at his game, I think you have no choice but to sign him up. Well, there is the value of the dollar. High taxes, that's a little bit overdone. it's fair. There is, I mean, I don't know what it would be. Some states where their taxes are really low, but it usually makes it up somewhere else. Like in Edmonton, the problem, not problem, I guess, you're going to pay a lot more for a house here in Edmonton than you will in a lot of places in the United States. Not New York and stuff, but you know, there's some up and down. Vancouver, oh my gosh, yeah. If you're in Vancouver, but it's so beautiful in Vancouver. Like people don't mind paying the extra money to live in, not necessarily Vancouver, but BC in general. Like you can go anywhere in BC. It's gorgeous there, but it's expensive. Montreal, I think, has the worst tax structure that there is in Canada, maybe in the league. That's the reason why they didn't keep Radulov, because he wanted like $8 million a year, and he ended up signing for $6 million in Dallas because of the taxes, because of the income tax. Where is everybody today, man? There we go. Starting to get some people in here now. North Carolina, Florida, Arizona, Nevada. Super cheap in tax. That's cool because I want to live in Vegas. But Toronto has high tax, yeah. They have high. Toronto has the GST and the PST, where you pay like 12% on every product. We just have GST in Alberta here. But our amenities are fantastic. And our crime rate in Canada is like in Edmonton here, our crime rate's nothing, man. Add whoever you want to the live, man. If you like talking hockey, bring them in, TikTok guys. Or you can go over to My NHL Pearls of Wisdom on YouTube. Just search My NHL Pearls of Wisdom. You'll find me. Add me there. Subscribe. Help me out. Trying to get to 1,000. Vegas says, yeah, they're just super aggressive and fast drivers. Like around the strip area, it's freaking nuts. Hey, how you doing? Don't move to Vegas, yeah. Yeah, Canada does have low crime. Toronto would probably have the highest crime rate, I would think. No, sorry, Winnipeg. Winnipeg has the highest crime rate. But it is a very low crime. Let's put it this way, Lauren. I haven't seen a gun since I was 14 years old. I haven't heard a gun go off since probably like forever. Like nobody has guns here. Nobody's worried about somebody. Like nothing. Nobody. I can leave my car unlocked and I don't even think about it. Like this is a population of 2 million people. Toronto has lots of guns. Well, okay, they're very American in Toronto actually, but in a population of 2 million people, I can leave my phone on a desk somewhere and like forget about it and not realize it for an hour or so. And I'm not too stressed that anybody stole it. More than likely, nobody stole the phone. So, pretty low crime here. Add whoever you want to the live, man. Yeah, we just started talking about, Sean, we talked about the crime rates and stuff because of it. It's something that players think about when they're going to go to certain places. Like Edmonton's not the sexiest city in the world, for sure. You land here, you're not going to be like, wow, this is beautiful. It's not, okay? No doubt about it. It's not a beautiful city. It's clean, super clean. It has I bet you see a lot of shootings in Toronto, Whitechell. Compared to most places in the United States, especially big cities, Toronto does not have much. They have a mall, yeah. Nobody cares about the mall. But it's clean. There are beautiful areas where you can, a lot of places you can go for a walk, parks, all that kind of stuff like that. So when you'll find that if a player decides to come to Edmonton, after they get here, they usually, quite often they'll sign again, resign and stay in the city and all that kind of stuff like that. It's just a case of it's cold. Let's forget about that. It's freaking cold in the wintertime. However, you have family and you have a spouse and they're like, I don't want to be there in the winter when it's cold like that. I don't blame them. I mean, it's colder than most anywhere you're going to find in the United States, even Minnesota. So Florida has a lot of shootings. Calgary is better than Edmonton. It depends on what you're looking. It's prettier. Calgary's prettier than Edmonton. It's closer to Banff and it's closer to Banff, which is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Banff, Alberta is absolutely gorgeous. But I find the people are better in Edmonton, honestly. I find Calgary people very angry people. It's more white collar. It could be just my little world when I've gone there. But I find the people in Calgary to be more snobby. I don't know. Just angry. Just more angry, honestly. If I was in my early 20s, no, Montreal, bud. Sean, if you're gonna take like one of those places, Montreal. Montreal is freaking awesome, man. Like for young and you want a party in Canada, Montreal. Toronto's great too. But Montreal has got culture and everything you want all the time. They party like crazy. They're very open-minded people and yeah, Montreal is beautiful, man. That's what they're saying, but they've been saying that for a long time. They'll speak English. Just don't go to Quebec. If you speak English in Montreal, you'll get by all right. Don't go to Quebec though. The city of Quebec. They don't like speaking English there. But if you pick up just a little bit of French and try to act like you're talking a little bit, then they're okay. But they're friggin' awesome, man. Like I was in Montreal for 6 months when I was 16 years old. I friggin' loved it. Love that. I love that city. But if you're kind of a family person, like it's the same thing. Like Columbus obviously has a hard time keeping people. You got Panarin. I mean, Panarin told uh, Chicago he was going to be a Ranger, even when he signed there. Like he wanted to be a Ranger. The Rangers couldn't use him at the moment, so he ended up going to Chicago. But he pretty much told him outright, when I go when I'm a UFA, I'm going to play for the Rangers. And then the Rangers still didn't need him, trade for him. I can't remember where they were at that time, what the reason was for it. But so Columbus took him for a couple of years, hoping they could win a cup with him, knowing full well he was going to New York. There was nothing going to stop him. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. The USA market teams are definitely much more attractive. Like, if you're young and you like, who doesn't want to live in New York with millions of dollars in their pockets? I mean, let's face it, LA or, all of that, the lore that goes with playing with those big cities. A scary basement. I can't wait till I have my own place. I can't even put anything up on the wall behind me here. Oh, wait a second. Let me turn this light on here. That's why. Is that better? Does that look better? There, that's probably better. You speak a little bit of Spanish? Oh, cool. Yeah, see, there you go, Lauren. There's another one. Very boring, very laid back culture. Yeah, you're not going to be partying and stuff like that. And that seems to be the same as Columbus, Ohio. But you seem to keep young players there pretty well. But I think Carolina picks their young players like as people. That's why they do the interviews. They try to find guys that want to have families and stuff like that. Like that's their motivation to get married, have a family, all that kind of stuff like that. And if you're in Columbus and stuff like that, I mean, same sort of thing. In Edmonton, you got to pay, and then they come, and then they like it. But you got to pay for them to come and like it because, I mean, if you look it up, if you Google Edmonton, Alberta, you're not going to have, it's not going to wow you. You're not going to be like, ooh. They'll probably show you Banff, which is like 3.5 hours away. As soon as I turned the light on, everybody left. We had people in here and now everybody left. Okay, John, you drink beer sometimes? Well, that's good. Anyways, that was an interesting topic. We get into just about everything. What else do we have? We talked about Tatar, Fiala, Darnell Nurse. See, Darnell Nurse, though, I believe. Oh, Vince Dunn just signed with a 2-year, $4 million per contract for Vince Dunn. 24 years old. So this puts him a year before free agency. So this is a show me contract. That is a big raise for a guy who struggled last year. Dunn can be a polarizing player. Why? Oh, have defensive lapses. So Dunn signs 2 years, $4 million per. It's probably an okay trade contract, yeah. I think most teams are going to want to see him play since he struggled as much as he did. Since he struggled as much as he did last year in St. Louis, but come the trade deadline, that contract, if he's putting up some offensive numbers, they could definitely get pretty good return on that for sure. So smart signing by Seattle for sure. If he is playing really well, then if he is playing really well, then they may just keep him, right? That gives them every option in the world there. So I like that deal. It looked like he was part of a deal with the Rangers there a little while ago. Riley Nash with the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, this is a depth move. That is good. The Winnipeg Jets are going to be one of the more interesting teams. I'm going to be interested to see what Dylan does there. I don't know about Dylan. He's pretty slow, and that I still think that defense isn't good enough. I still think that defense isn't good enough for Winnipeg. They signed. Oh yeah, that's right. And Schultz, right? Is that his name? He did not do well in Vancouver last year. He's making $6 million a year. They make interesting moves in Winnipeg. And I think that has a lot to do with, again, just like Edmonton, they have a limited pool to choose from. Nate Schmidt, he's making $6 million for the next 4 years. You want to talk about that? Like if you're talking about players that, like you, Lauren, you said Hedman makes 8. Nate Schmidt makes 6. Nate Schmidt's not anywhere near 3/4 of what Hedman is. He had a terrible year in Vancouver last year. 15 points in 54 games. They got it. They have to cease. And even when he was with Vegas, he was only a 0.5 per game defenseman. And never was like super stellar defensively. He was okay. But they signed him up for $6 million. Now he's 30 years old. And he's got, 4 years left on his contract. I think that's a product of like only certain players are going to go to Winnipeg. So if you can find someone that has NHL ability, they ended up. That is nuts. Yeah, I agree. So like how much better is their defense really? They lost Forbert, who I thought played really well. They bring in Dylan. Maybe lateral. I think you can make a case that Forbert could even be better than Dylan. And then bring in Nate Schmidt, who I don't know. I don't see how they're much better. Would I extend Giordano? It depends on what Giordano wants. If they're gonna make him captain, then I suppose yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't look good for the rest of the team to bring a 37-year-old in from Calgary and then just kind of throw him aside. You're trying to build a culture of trust there. And if he wants to stay in Seattle, then probably sign him up for 2 years, put a captaincy on him and see how he does. I would say. And then if he wants to go for a cup later, then like Giordano's sort of earned the right, I think, to kind of dictate his fate in the NHL. So he's not going to hurt you, Nash. He's not going to move the needle really anyway. Yeah, if he's just going to be there for a year. I guess we'll have, because Tanev would be the other option probably. And even him, how long is he going to be there for? We'll see how long they go to even sign. Like a lot of times, I have a feeling, if it's possible that Francis waits a year before he even signs, gives somebody a captaincy or at least lets the team play for a while. It's possible. Yeah, he's pretty old school. Francis is on the old school side. If I had to take a guess, I'd say he'll name the captain early in the season or even before. He'll have it picked out, and it'll probably be a veteran. Yeah, it'll like it would seem like he would be the guy to be the captain of that team for sure. The first captain of the Seattle franchise. Yeah, well, if he can play till he's 40, yeah. I'm sure he learned things from Jim Rutherford, but he's certainly not the same as Jim Rutherford, that's for sure. They're two opposite philosophies, those guys. Hey, how you doing, whoever's there? I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you're listening to the NHL Pearl of Wisdom show on YouTube, on TikTok. Which it's doggy time. What's going on? No CL, no Sasha. Where is everybody today? Hopefully they come back in the second half. I'll see you guys in a bit. We're going to do doggy time, and I'll be right back.
Greetings. This is Steel Flyers from the Steel Flyers All Sports Network, and we have two very special guests. We are delighted to be joined by Tracy Musser and Nicole Howard from the Canine Country Club Resorts. Tracy and Nicole are both managers for CCC Resorts and work at the Windsor or at the club, one of two locations both in Manheim, Pennsylvania. Congratulations on your 30th year anniversary of being in business. Let me start off by saying this. Steel Flyer stands behind this company 100%. Taken care of Steel Flyer's furry friend for the last 2 years now, and they are a one-stop shop for everything your furry friend needs. In fact, let's find out what our friends at CCC Resorts offer. Nicole, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. What are some of the great boarding services that you guys offer, and what do we have to do in order to get our furry friends taken care of when we are unable to travel with them?
Well, we like to bring everybody in for a tour first. That way they can see the behind the scenes, they can see where they stay, they can see where they play, and then we explain all of the fun things that we can add on to their reservation, whether it be one of our packages, either a nature walk, a ball time, or even a cuddle time.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. Boy, it sure sounds like a resort to me. So how are you today, Tracy?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Tracy, tell me, is it true that you guys have both an indoor and an outdoor pool at the Windsor location?
It is true. We've got one of each, so we're able to offer year-round swimming. The indoor pool is a great option for dogs who are swimming for therapy or rehab. It's got that sloped entry so they can wade into the water. Our outdoor pool is a little bit larger, and it's 4 foot deep the whole way across. And both of them are saltwater pools, so it's really easy on the dog's skin and coat.
Wow, that's very awesome. So then during the summer months, you have a much deeper pool outside and then a sloped entry shallow pool indoors for the dogs. Tracy, tell the folks how we can get some pool time.
Well, the first thing everyone does is come for an intro swim. We use that time to make sure the dog is comfortable in the water. We make sure they know how to get out of the pool safely, and we go over all the pool rules and etiquette with the clients as well. After that, they're able to schedule private appointments where they have the pool to themselves, or they can invite friends and have a whole group swim going on.
So after a dip in the pool, then it would have to be off to the groomers, right? I mean, our furry friends cannot go out looking their best. Nicole, what are some of the great services your top-notch groomers provide?
Our groomers, they specialize in full service grooms. We can do the basics, whether it be just a bath and a brush out or a blowout. Or for the extra pampered pooches, we can do nail dremels, we can do deodorizing soaks, and also facials.
Wow, man, that sounds like a resort if you ask me. Tracy, I know one of the main programs here at CCC Resorts is the WAGS program. The Steel Flyers dog is enrolled in this program. So why don't you tell the folks what is involved in this and how they can get enrolled?
Yeah, the WAGS program is our primary daycare option at the Windsor. It's designed to be a structured program for people who are looking for a set routine for their dog. They all come on the same days each week, which allows them to have set friends, and we know exactly what's going on with each group. So we do a little bit more activities, and we build more into their daily routine there. But we've got other daycare options as well for people looking for a little less commitment. We do an hourly care where you can drop them off and just pay by the hour. We also do a day stay option, which is great for the dogs that prefer human friends instead of making friends with other dogs. And then we have a traditional daycare option as well if you're looking for the occasional outing for your dog.
Wow, there you have it. A full-service groomer, a daycare program, and an indoor and outdoor pool. What more could you ask for? Sure seems like CCC Resorts has everything covered. Remember, DOG, depend on God.
All right, we are back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Still got lots of free agents. Oh, they'll Perlo dance. Okay. Yeah, this is a Perlo dance, everybody. Woo! Do it all with me. Come on, Hockey News Reports. You know you wanna. You know you wanna. Still quite a bit of free agents out there. Oliver Bjorklund tired of losing? Maybe, but he loves Columbus. I've heard him talk about it all the time. He's a family guy. He loves his family there. I guess it's one of those places where there's a low crime rate. So if you got a family and you just like to do family type stuff with family people, Columbus is for you. If you're a young dude with millions of dollars in your pocket, it might not be. But still lots of free agents out there. Yeah, it's getting pretty slim after Johansson signed there. But I imagine there's still a lot more. It's getting pretty slim though. Are these just the ones that signed? Josh, where are the free? I'm trying to find the free agents that did not sign yet. Oh yeah, these are the guys that haven't signed yet. James Neal. Travis Zajac is probably going to sign. Oh, come on. Travis Zajac's probably going to sign with the Islanders. Tyler Bozak's an interesting one. I'm surprised Tyler Bozak hasn't signed anywhere yet. Dvorak to the Habs? Makes sense. I think Dvorak to a lot of places would be pretty darn good right now. I think Dvorak to a lot of places right now. There's a lineup. If they're really looking to trade him, I don't like Donato at all. Like the guy is, I don't think I've ever seen a guy more clueless in the defensive zone than Donato, and his offense certainly doesn't make up for it. But somebody's going to give him $1 million. You can be assured of that. But at this point, I think it's gotten to the point with Donato where he's like got to earn himself on the roster for somewhere. All of those kind of players, I think, are going to be plucked up by Arizona, to tell you the honest truth. Arizona is going to give a bunch of these guys $1 million or $2 million a year. Cizikas, it's so hard to see Cizikas not signing with the Islanders, but if it's true he's looking for $5 million, I don't think they got enough money there. Think the Sen should sign Donato? To me, it's like they already got rid of that awesome Dadonov contract. I don't know why Vegas took that contract, but they already got rid of that contract, and now you're going to bring on Donato, and now he's going to be less. So, I suppose, where's Montreal should be able to sign, but I just don't think Cizikas is going to get $5 million. I'd just be very surprised. if Cizikas gets $5 million. That is really optimistic of Cizikas to think that he's going to get $5 million a year. I think he's more likely to get pretty close to what he was making before, 3.5. I just can't believe that Cizikas isn't going to go back to the Islanders. That's the one. That one really, like, kind of floors me as to where he would go. They're gambling that either one, like Howden especially. I mean, Patrick to me makes a little more sense because he was injured and all that kind of stuff like that. But Howden, he has declined every year as a Ranger. But, I mean, we've seen it over and over again where Vegas plucks these guys off and they're great. So you never know, I suppose. No, it's not final. He's not going back. But if he's looking for $5 million, even 3.5, I think it's going to be pretty difficult for them to sign him up. I'm pretty sure they want to bring Palmieri and Zajac back. But signing, what does they have? What do the Islanders have? Maybe they're still trying to find a home for Bailey and they're going to take Cizikas instead. That's possible. They've got $11 million in cap space now after signing Pelech, which was a freaking beautiful signing. 5.7, wow. And they got to sign Pulock after next year. What's he going to make? Aren't they pretty much the same? So what is Pulock going to get now? If he gets 5.75, like Pulock's not going to get much more than that. They got $11 million. They can't have maybe they can buy out Komarov. He's got one more year left. They got everybody. Oh, they got to sign Beauvillier yet. So they got Beauvillier. If they decide to take Palmieri, where does that leave any room for Cizikas? Yeah, I thought it would be 6.5 to 7. Under 5 is a friggin' or is it 5.75? He could have got 7. Like, he's a top 2 pairing defenseman. On the open market, I don't know what he would have got, but yeah, I'd say he got a pretty sweet deal there. Hello, whoever you are. Welcome to the live. I think that was a unbelievable deal. Now, how does Cizikas ask for 5? Come on. Your top pairing defenseman just got 5.75, and Cizikas is going to get 5, really? Like, what? I can't see that happen. So if he's wanting 5, he's not going to get it in. I don't believe he's going to get it as an Islander. I don't know if he'll get it anywhere, Cizikas, really. I'm pretty sure he's just betting he's going high and hoping he'll. I'm pretty sure he's just going in high and seeing what he can get. But with that signing, is he really that? How far away is he from Pajot? Pajot's getting 5 something. I think 3.5 is the number, man. Yeah, go to the KHL or whatever. There's no way he's getting $5 million on Long Island. There's just no way. There's no way he's getting $5 million on Long Island. Can't see it. I think, yeah, that Tyler Bozak's interesting. His numbers have gone down quite a bit. He's certainly not going to get $5 million. It all depends. If he's looking for a cup, he probably is going to have to take a lot less, Tyler Bozak. Because I just don't see any contenders that are going to need a third liner a 35-year-old third liner that isn't really all that physical. I just don't see any cup contenders wanting that. Right now, if he wants to get in cheap, maybe Boston, but Boston really wants to. I think Boston's looking for a guy better than Foligno still. Hey, how you doing, Mercer? Welcome in, buddy. Hey, everybody that's in here, thank you. We're doing a live show on My NHL Pearls of Wisdom on YouTube. You can listen into our hockey banter. And you can comment down there if you know. We're talking about free agents and where they may go right now, or the ones that are still left. I think Bozak will go to some surprising place we weren't thinking of. Maybe Seattle again. Columbus. I mean, he doesn't really. That's the thing is like he goes to most teams. I think I said Calgary before. For some reason, Calgary seems to fit well with me. For Bozak. What do you guys think? Calgary? John Tavares is soiled. Hey, Bill, welcome in, buddy. Well, everybody's coming in the second half here. Vatanen, I think his career's almost over, man. He'll be signing like a minimum contract. After his last injury, he just hasn't been good. He could sign to a lot of different places. Bozak to Vancouver, they're for cheap maybe, but I think after they signed Sutter, Bozak pretty much is redundant. They're about the same type of player, so I don't think that he would go to Vancouver. I think it could get stinky for Coleman too. Especially there. Oh, talk about that. I should put that as my new thing for the next 45 minutes. Yeah, he has really gone downhill. Gaudreau. And now this is off of the Hockey Buzz, whatever. But apparently Gaudreau from Hockey Buzz, it's starting to heat up that Gaudreau could be going somewhere in the before the end of the season. Apparently Eklund, his source in Calgary, said that it's about 60-70% chance that Gaudreau moves on. And Montreal has been talked about, but I just think if you're going to trade Gaudreau, he's got to re-sign, right? So he's got a lot of control of where he's going to resign. And I'm pretty sure if he going to get traded, if there's a team that wants him, there's something about that deal for New Jersey. Now that we bring it up for Tatar, it was kind of a head scratcher. Gaudreau is from New Jersey. So if he was going to get traded to the New Jersey area, I guess it's not going to be New Jersey. Although they do have a lot of cap space, but that would be that maybe they're still looking at that. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, I think, is out of that equation. I thought Buffalo worked out all right. But why would you want to go to Buffalo if you're Gaudreau? It's possible there's nobody in that area, the PA area, no team in that PA area that could really give them what they want. He was a Flyers fan, yeah. But they've already got Atkinson now at 5'8". You're going to bring little Gaudreau over there too? And you already got Giroux, and, pretty small forwards there. They're going to bring Gaudreau, and what are you going to get for him? So, I don't know. I think I think if he wants to go back to that area, it might be tough for free agency. Like, who's going to sign him in free agents? If he decides to go to free agency and go there, I'm not sure there's a spot for him. New Jersey would seem the most likely. They have lots of cap space. I don't know. It just seems like they got all the same kind of player there if they get Gaudreau. But I didn't realize that they have a lot bigger players than I thought. Sharon Govich is 6'something", 6'2", 6'3". He sure is not a small guy. Hughes is. It could work. It could work. But I think that New Jersey would probably just wait it out for free agency. Maybe that's what they're thinking. And then if he's going to go to New Jersey anyways, Calgary's going to get nothing for Gaudreau. They're not going to get anything for Gaudreau. Because who's going to take him for 1 year when they know he's going to New Jersey? So that makes it a little more difficult to trade. Like, for instance, Montreal. He's American. Why does he want to go to Montreal? Why does he want to go to that tax structure and all that stuff like that in Montreal when he's, he could go to New Jersey? If Montreal were to trade for him, more than likely, it's only going to be for 1 year. So I think well, it depends on the year that Subban has. Hockey News reports. If he has a decent year where he's got a lot better defense there, I imagine he could be traded if they hold half a salary back. It's possible. I don't know. It would completely depend on which teams are doing well at that time and need defensemen. Yeah, he'll play for the Blue Jackets bench from this year, I'm pretty sure. If he's a first-line forward, that would be pretty impressive. He's not really, he hasn't been known to be a really offensive guy. He's at least probably going to be a 30. He was one of the safer picks of that draft. Like, nobody works harder than frickin' Mercer. He almost surely is going to play in the league. It's just how much offense is he going to pull? What did he do last year? Like, did he play at all? Knowing him, he probably went to Europe, right? I think that New Jersey team could be a handful next year. I would not be surprised if that New Jersey team ekes their way into the playoffs. It's a tough division to do it in, but I wouldn't be surprised. They have done some fantastic moves there. Let me look at their prospects. Dawson Mercer. He's a big boy too. I say he's average. He's from Newfoundland, Labrador. Mercer. He got 36 points in 23 games in the Q, but he had 19 goals. That's in the queue. It's easier to score there. So I'm not sure I'm sold that he's going to be a top line guy. I'm not sure I'm sold that he's going to be a top line guy in the QMHL. Oh, he's from your area? I think he's more of a second, third tweener guy, a complimentary player. No way. Halak beat Demko for the starting job? Oh, that would be devastating for the Vancouver Canucks, honestly. If Halak beats Demko for the starting job, that would not be the way things were planned in Vancouver. Demko looks like he's got Vezina possibilities in him, man. He looks like a goaltender that's gonna crush it. It's hard because Ottawa had such a good second half, but if you look at that roster, like for them to make the playoffs, and you look at the division they're in, I think they're going to be hard pressed playing against Tampa, Florida. It's going to be a tough haul for Ottawa next year. But man, that's Stützle. Where is he going to? How much will he be progressed? Tkachuk is a beast. It's just their overall depth might cause him a problem, and goaltending still looks to be a fair bit of an issue for Ottawa. So. Oh my gosh. Wow, Mercer, we disagree there. We'll see, Mercer, but I think Demko is going to absolutely pummel next year. The guy's the agility, size, everything he has. I think he's going to crush next year. We'll see. You can call me out on it, Mercer. Yeah, Ottawa does beat the Leafs all the time. Yep. Demko is an elite goalie. I agree. I think Demko's just hitting his stride. And when he's on, and if he can play with that as good as he can consistently, there's no reason why he doesn't have a Vezina, I think, before his career is over. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody sees things differently, though. So there's lots of times when I thought a goaltender was going to be great. Well, not lots, but a couple times. I thought a goaltender was going to be great, and he turned out not to be. So I don't know what would have to change in him. Like I thought, what's his name that ended up going to Philadelphia? Bobrovsky. When Bobrovsky was in Anaheim, I thought, oh my gosh, this guy's going to be amazing, and look what happened to him. So that was more of a mental thing, I think. Welcome, TikTok people. We're talking hockey. Thanks for coming in. Other free agents that are out there. Let's keep on going that road. That was fun. .3 made Cizikas last year. And he had 14 points in 56 games. Yeah, he played fourth line minutes. He played like 13 minutes a night. There's no way you're getting $5 million. Just no way. No way. You just saw how much did how much did Dano get? 5.5? Like, Dano puts up 40 points in a season playing against the toughest lines in the NHL. He got 5.5. Cizikas thinks he's going to get 5? No. Yeah, well, yeah, it depends on your ranking. I agree with Lauren there. Is he a franchise goaltender? No. Is he generational? No. But he's the kind of guy that one or 2 years he could light it up to the point where he could definitely do a Vezina. And his upside is still pretty high yet. Like, he's improved every single year. I think he's like 27 or something like that. He's a late bloomer too. You know how goaltenders can be. $25 years old. I don't know. I don't know where his upside is, but he just keeps on getting better and better every year. So when does that top out? He had a 2.85 and a .915 on a Vancouver team that couldn't do nothing last year. Like, those are pretty darn good numbers. I guess you just got to watch him. Like, if you watch him a lot, you realize that his numbers don't say it all right now. If they can play some decent defense in front of him, probably Chris Tierney, yeah. Yeah, like that. It's just that can he do that consistently, right? Last year I think he put up pretty decent numbers last year, Demko, considering just how poor Vancouver played, because I mean, they went through a horrible COVID, and their first 17 games or something, and it was just a ridiculous schedule. They used Holtby. Holtby's pretty bad. Yeah, Halak's just getting old, man. So yeah, that's the other thing we didn't talk about. That the Pittsburgh Penguins signed fired their old goalie coach. Now that's funny because this goalie coach that they fired, and I don't remember the name of him, but he was a goalie coach for Murray and for Jarry. I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did. But they hired the guy that was a goalie coach for Jarry and DeSmith in the AHL, because both of them seemed to do really well under him. So I can't remember his name, but they brought him up, and that's kind of their plan with goaltending right now. It seems they're just going to try to make Jarry be what he can be, or better than he can be. Which kind of makes sense because, in all honesty, I really thought Jarry was much better than he has turned out to be so far. I don't know. It seems obvious that his confidence issues there for sure. I think he can win a Vezina. I think he can. Well, that's generational. Vasilevsky's a generational goaltender. Absolutely. He's beyond elite. Vasilevsky's generational. I mean, when you're talking about a generational goaltender, Marc-Andre Fleury, Vasilevsky. Who else? Possibly Sorokin. I don't know. He's maybe not. He's a little older already yet he's got a long ways to go to get to that point. But there's only generationals. Well, there's only supposed to be one in a generation, so they're few and far between. But Vasilevsky's got to be put in there. But I would put Demko in with Askarov. Well, he's got to prove it yet, but he certainly has a possibility of. Spencer Knight looks like he's generational. Looks like it so far. Frederick Anderson, yeah, generational. Yeah, no. Even when he wasn't injured, no. Well, he's going to be a starter. We'll see how he does. I'm a little scared of that, being a Carolina fan too. Now they're going with them. They can't get anything for Jari right now. If you traded Jari, like, you're not getting nothing for him. You probably would have to give up something with them. Swayman might be out if he continues. I think so. Hey, they're going to give it a go. That would be if Swayman and Allmark could be one fantastic combination. Hutton, yeah, he's generationally bad. Carter Hutton. Wow, is he a bad goaltender? Holy crap. Why did we get on the Demko thing anyways? Oh yeah, because you said Halak will beat him out. What's Halak, 38 years old? I don't think Halak will be playing too much. They're going to be playing Demko a lot. Kasper Bjorkfist, okay. They actually have a young player in their system. Pittsburgh. There's a good question since you brought it up. Weichel always brings it up. What do you guys think next year? Pittsburgh misses the playoffs, which I think it's likely. Who do they trade away? Letang gone at the deadline? I've heard that they're going to re-sign him. I don't believe it. Hextall likes to do that. I think he's gone. I think if they're not going to be in there, Letang is gone, right? Letang for sure has got to be gone. I think unless Malkin has a healthy year, he says that if he ever tried to get traded. That's the thing about Pittsburgh is, okay, Letang is gone. Well, he would be traded if anybody would take him. Unless he has a good year, I don't see anybody taking him. Well, what were they going to do, though? Vladar, to me, I don't know. He's a borderline backup. If they were going to sign Allmark anyways, that's the thing. Will Crosby ever get traded? And I've heard people say, no, Crosby will be there forever. But if they do a rebuild, I'm not sure about that. I think Crosby could say, you know what? I don't want to do a rebuild. Why would you want to do a rebuild? Why would you want to go do a rebuild at his age? Yeah, Jason Zucker, retain some money, get a pick for him. The only guy you keep is Gunsel. And then you got to ask him if he wants to stay too. Demelin, like everybody, just crash and burn. Yeah, if you traded Crosby, what would a Crosby trade look like? That would be weird. He's got quite a bit left on his contract, right? I thought Dubinsky was done. I thought his career was over. If you were to trade Crosby, let me put that in the thing. Hutton and a first-round pick for Jarry. I think that would be a straight-across deal, pretty much. Oh my gosh, that would be sick. How are they going to fit that in? Oh yeah, I was going to look at Crosby's contract. How many years does he have left on that now? Pittsburgh Penguins right now have $121,000 in cap space. $2,025. He's got 4 years at 8.7. He's going to be 37 at the end of that contract. 34, 35, 36, 37. Yeah, you for sure could get a good package from somebody for that. But, I mean, he's going to really be able to choose where he goes. So that's going to depreciate the value because you're not going to just trade Crosby anywhere. That kind of player, it pretty much has control. And I'm sure he has a no movement clause. That would be insane if he didn't have a no movement clause. Yeah, he's got a no movement clause. So trading Crosby is supposed to make him worse. That would be the signing of a complete rebuild, like total rebuild. But I don't know the value you're going to get for Crosby. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that high because he has a no movement clause. There's only certain places he's going to want to go. Now, he could go. He might want to go to Toronto, but I don't think Toronto because he's from Ontario. He's from. Is he in Newfoundland or Nova Scotia? Toronto would be the closest, or Boston. Boston, maybe. Boston, possibly. But like I said, I don't know what you'd get back. Well, of course, he's not going to say he doesn't want to stay in Pittsburgh. Of course he wants to stay in Pittsburgh. He's not going to say, even if he was in the back of his mind, he thought about playing somewhere else, he's not going to say that. No way. Not a leader like him. He's never going to say that. If they make the deal, they're going to make it look like it wasn't Crosby's idea. I think, probably. Yeah, but that'll never work. I mean, Crosby to Toronto is just not going to work for obvious reasons. A cap space for Toronto. They already have Tavares there, Matthews there. Like, doesn't make any sense. Montreal, actually, would be the team that maybe most likely he would go to. Montreal's closer to Nova Scotia than Toronto, actually, a little bit. Montreal would make some sense. Pittsburgh would just have to play the idea that they don't really have to trade him, and maybe they might be able to get Kokoniemi in a first or something like that. Yeah, Montreal Canadiens would be the probably if it's gonna be to do with being closer to home. Montreal Canadiens would be the most likely, I would say. The Buffalo Sabres. Trade Crosby to the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, I don't think so. Possibly the Detroit Red Wings, but they're not ready yet. That'd have to be an actual contender. Well, it would be up to Crosby. There's no way. I doubt very much Pittsburgh's going to say, hey, we're trading you against your will. I doubt that. I doubt that would ever happen. I've heard, what he says and what he'll do, I don't know. But Malkin has basically said if he ever gets traded, he's going to the KHL for sure. But whether that's true, I don't know. Well, he didn't really retire yet. He said he's not probably playing this year though. Weber. If you were going to trade Crosby for Matthews right now, Pittsburgh would be the team adding to that. Austin Matthews is younger, probably better than Crosby right now as a player. Yeah, I would say he's for sure better. There's no way that Pittsburgh would be giving up plus, but that's not going to happen. Arizona has a cap space, yeah. I find it unlikely that they would trade Crosby that close, but you never know, to Washington. Again, you're looking at first-round picks and prospects, so it's got to be a team that's going to have the cap room for his $8 million salary. I don't know if he's a flashy personality. I never met him. I do know that he's not married. He had a girlfriend. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that much, but except for the fact that he's not a family guy. But that has more to do with the fact, apparently, that he wants to devote every energy he has to hockey. So I don't think it's going to matter to him too much if he plays in New York or something like that. If that's what you're thinking, like a single guy with lots of money. I don't think that's going to matter to him too much. His main thing is just to win cups and play hockey. And that's, from what I heard, that's the reason why he's not married or anything yet. Because he doesn't want to start a family while he's playing hockey. Yeah, Toffoli, Kotkaniemi in a first. Yeah, I don't. How much leverage would they have in that deal for Montreal to do that deal, though? Yeah, it would have to be like we don't really have to trade him, but we'll trade him or something like that. They're gonna have to work out some leverage. If they can get enough leverage, that might be a deal that they could do for sure. Toffoli's a little younger. Kotkaniemi will give him a center to start their build around a bit. Chicago will find a way to get him, probably. Yeah, probably. I don't know how that would work, but I've been saying it all the time that I thought Tuukka Rask was going to retire. I've been saying it for a while now, so I still going to maintain it until I see otherwise. I think he's going to retire. Yeah. I think Crosby was a Leafs fan growing up, but like I said, I don't see the Maple Leafs being able to do that. That's another one. Where will Phil Kessel go? I have no idea. I should have did that in my video today. There was some talk about Phil Kessel in one of the videos I was doing. But Somebody said Minnesota doesn't make sense. The funny thing about Kessel is you're not really getting him for leadership. You're getting him for offense. And his contract looks pretty poopty. He's probably about a 50 to 60 point player. He's not a guy that you want to help bring up your young players or anything like that. You probably want to keep your young players away from him, if anything. It's the exact opposite. What's his contract right now? $5 million. 8 million cap hit. Jeez. I don't know. 8 million cap hit, and he got what, 43? He managed 43 points in 56 games last year. I'm pretty sure Arizona is going to have to retain for sure, and maybe a significant amount. But if they do, geez, I could see. What about Philadelphia? What about Philadelphia? They've been looking for that shooter, although they got Atkinson. They probably don't have enough cap space. They probably don't have enough cap space in Philadelphia, even if they retain. Oh, that's who I forgot about. Gaudreau. The New York Islanders. I could see the New York Islanders going in on Gaudreau. Leafs are not going to take Kessel, I don't think. Pretty positive here the Leafs are not going to take Kessel. Yeah. Yeah, I doubt very much that if Arizona's going to trade him that a team's going to take that full 8 mil. Pretty sure they're going to retain. But out of all, wouldn't it be, I can't see the Islanders doing it. There's no way Lamoriello wants a guy who doesn't work out and stuff on his team. I can't see it. I could see the Flyers. They've been desperately looking for that shooter, but they apparently found it in Atkinson. And I can see the Panthers. Out of all of those teams you just posted there, I could see it being the Florida Panthers. Why? Hornqvist. If Hornqvist likes Phil Kessel and thinks that he can improve their team, and they're willing to retain Arizona, I think Hornqvist could talk them into getting Phil Kessel go there. Just imagine Kessel getting passes from Huberdeau, even at his age. Like, he could help that team. They got a lot of character there now too, so they might be able to use Kessel. Apparently Kessel's fine in the room. It's when he's outside he can be kind of a jerk, and he's really not good for your youth because he doesn't work out and stuff like that. So, like, there's not many. You don't want your young players thinking that they can be a freak of nature like Phil Kessel. New York Rangers. They got so many left wingers there, though. I think I don't see the Rangers being a fit. I think the Islanders would be more of a fit than the Rangers. If they don't sign Palmieri, If they can't sign Palmieri, maybe they trade for Gaudreau. I just don't know if they have like how much what they'd be able to give up. They certainly don't want to give up more draft picks, I would think. But man, Gaudreau and Barzal could do some pretty killer stuff together, I imagine. But the Rangers, man, they got a lot of left wingers now. They just got Gaudreau, right? They got Lafreniere, Kreider, Gaudreau. Unless they're planning on trading Kreider, who they just signed, I don't see it. I don't see that being a fit. Alex Galchenyuk back to the Leafs? Probably. I don't know what it is with that guy. His hockey IQ is just, he's got all the skills, but he's just not the smartest dude. He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer as far as players are concerned. When is Nick Foligno? What's his brother's name again? When is he finished in Minnesota, his contract? That makes sense, actually. That would suck for Minnesota. When's his contract up in Minnesota? Marcus, they would have to trade for him. He's got 3 years left on his contract still. I suppose they could trade for him, I guess. What's 24? Sean Patton. What's 24, Sean Patton? Year and 24. I'm going to really... Oh, 2024. Jeez. Yeah, 3 years from now. I just said 3 years from now, and I couldn't figure out what the frick 24 meant. Yeah, so they'd have to trade for him to take him. I suppose if Foligno begged enough, they would do that. I just find it odd. You know, I think it's possible they could have had Foligno there if they wouldn't have did what they did with Suter and Parise. I think maybe the Foligno's got this idea that they weren't going to be a cup contender for a couple of years after doing those buyouts. And I think it's actually pretty likely that Guerin is thinking that too. Yeah, I should have been able to put 2 and 2 together there, John. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? I think that Guerin is looking at a 4 or 5 year plan there. And I think that the Foligno's put it together that that's likely the case. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Boston made a trade to get the other Foligno there. Maybe at the deadline would make sense. Really suck for Minnesota to lose out on a Foligno like that. But it looks like they're rebuilding around Kaprizov, and they're going to sign him to an enormous contract. Like huge. 12.5 million, 13 million, something. I'm hearing something like that. And then, you know, they're just going to realize that they're probably not going to be a contender for a couple of years. And they'll build what they can, keep on grabbing draft picks. They're really looking at the 4 or 5 year mark to be a true contender after buying out those contracts. That's what I think is going on. And so Marcus Foligno is probably looking at that going, I'm getting a little long on the tooth to be waiting 4 or 5 years to be in a cup contending team. So he told his brother, Nick, you might as well not come over here because we're not going to be winning a cup anytime soon. Go over to Boston and I'll see if we can work out a way that I can get over there too. That makes sense. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I could definitely see that happening, for sure. I think Minnesota could struggle this year. They've got a great coach in Dean Evison, though. That's really the thing. But I think most players would be able to see that what they're doing there with the buyout and everything. Apparently, Suter was a little difficult in the room, too. And if he was, maybe Suter kind of rubbed Kaprizov the wrong way. And, I mean, let's face it, re-signing Kaprizov for them is everything. It's everything. They don't sign Kaprizov, they're going through a full rebuild right now. Full bore rebuild if they don't sign Kaprizov. There's no reason to, you keep Eck and Greenway and stuff, and it's going to take a few more years yet before they're even close. So Kaprizov is absolutely essential. Leafs, I don't know if the Leafs will ever fix their defense. I was talking about that with Riley too. So somebody on the Leafs Facebook group said they would sign Riley to $5.5 million, like $6 million for 8 years. And honestly, I think that's probably what he's worth. But unfortunately, I'm pretty sure he'll get more than that on the open market. I'm not sure he would sign that. However, if I'm like talking to his agent or whatever, I simply have to go to Adam Pelech and say, he's got 6. He's better defensively than no way that Cam. Well, no. Well, why would they have to, Bill? Who can't? They can sign him. They can go over the cap until the regular season starts, and then they just have to work their way around the cap at that time. But they've got they're stuck in between a rock and a hard place there, I think. Because if they don't sign them, what they're they're in win now, right? So if they don't sign them, they're not going to get win now back. That's what I'm saying. Not what they need. I mean, if they trade them, they need defense, and if they trade them for a forward, who are they going to get for $6-7 million? Who are they going to get to replace him? Like, they're in a tough spot. Yeah, I'm kind of pushing it a little bit. I guess I should probably go. It's Friday. Got to go pick up the little lady. It was fun. I talk long here because it's fun. I like talking to you guys. But I will see you Monday from 5 to, what is it, 3 to 5? 3 to 5 Eastern. And we will have Frolic then, won't we? Check out my last video. It's pretty cool. I think you'll like it. And for TikTok people, thanks for coming in. That makes them more of a cup contender. Nurses overpaid. Okay, Dustin Shear comes in right under the wire when I was going to leave and says Nurses overpaid. Oh, their team won't make it at all. They've got Kakin in there. Kakinen will be playing too. I don't hypothetically, because there's no way Crosby would ever go to the Jets. Pretty sure. Would they be a contender? I suppose they'd be more of a contender, but they still have a problem with their defense. But I mean, Crosby's going to make any team better if you throw him on there, for sure. I mean, they'd have one sick top six if Crosby went there. But so Crosby, Scheifele, Lowry, Dubois would go into the wing. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. It's just I still am very uncertain about the defense there. Well, grabbing Dylan and it's a Canadian team, bud, but it's not a Canadian team that even Canadians want to go to. It's bitter cold in Winnipeg. I don't know. Maybe Crosby would consider it, but I'm bordering on no. You got to remember, it would have to be anywhere he would want to go. He's going to be like that anywhere he goes. But I think Montreal would be the most likely place if anything that were to happen. Dustin, thanks for coming in, by the way, Dustin. Sure. I got to go pick up my wife now. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much for coming in and bringing this on this in your summertime yet. And that's why we're diehards here, right? We are the hockey nerds. Love hockey all the time, all the time, all the time. I will see you on Monday. Have a great... Oh, Steel Flyers All Sports Network. Make sure you go check that stuff out, right? For sure. Go check out that website. The more hits we get, the better it is for everybody. More chance I'm going to be here next time. Have a great day. Okay. Aw.